healing in a hospital. It's a layered process. In addition to medical care, these patients often need the emotional support of their loved ones by their side. But that was interrupted by the pandemic. Earlier this month, CHRISTUS Spohn hospitals in Corpus Christi decided to expand their visitor policy with new safety guidelines. So what does that mean for the patients? Take a look. Every day before Betty Rutherford can go to work at CHRISTUS Spohn Hospital, she has to fill out a staff survey and then go through a screening, which is mandatory for anyone entering the building.
Any symptoms for you, ma'am? Any fever, cough, runny nose, loss of taste or smell?
No.
Throughout the pandemic, COVID patients fighting the virus without family around relied on the comfort from nurses like Rutherford.
We became the patient's family. We ended up having to hold their hands, assure them that they were going to be okay.
Even when they weren't doing well.
We didn't know if they were going to live or die, so it was very important to focus on the patient and have compassion and love and dignity for them.
With only virtual interaction with loved ones, it took a toll on these patients, and for the medical staff, every ounce of their energy was reserved for patients.
It's very important to include the family because they're worried at home. You don't know what's going on in their households.
She recalls a family who was devastated by the virus, a mother who died, a sister who followed, and another sister who was being treated.
My heart went out to the dad because the dad had survived COVID and came in to see his daughter on her last moments of life.
She says seeing him grieve was painful.
You know, I remember holding him, you know, as he was grieving for his daughter and crying along with him.
And the bad news didn't stop there.
And then I found out 2 weeks later that he passed away from a heart attack. And it hit me because it wasn't, that could have been my family.
It's stories like these during the pandemic that magnifies the importance of human touch and emotional support at hospitals.
When someone is in despair, nothing is more reassuring to have your loved one there to provide support.
Most patients can now have multiple visitors during their stay instead of only one allowed under the previous policy.
It may not just be one person to visit that patient. It might be 2 or 3, depending upon the clinical situation and the need of the patient.
COVID patients who are not undergoing treatments or procedures can have one visitor who must wear protective gear.
The primary focus of the change is to allow each patient to have a designated support person, and that support person can be changed.
It's caring about the family, too. It's a package plan.
It's another open door as we all learn how to live through the new normal.